Right, okay, everybody. So we're coming up for 8 o'clock. So time for us to get started. So good evening, everybody, and welcome to the call. My name's Roger Garth, and it's my pleasure to be your host for the presentation this evening. We're going to talk to you about a way to actually make some extra money in your spare time. And I want to, before we get started with how, I want to go through why such a thing is needed in the first instance. So how come we've got people calling in from all over Europe, as far away as Africa and even the USA on this call to talk about something that we all do on a day-to-day basis? We all go out and make a living, so why do we all need to make extra? Well, the reason is because the old ways aren't working. When I was a kid, I was brought up and I was told to go out, get a good job, save some money, put your money in the bank, as you can see on the screen there, and save a little bit. And by the time you come to retire, you work your 40 years, put your 40 hours a week in. At the end of the time, you'll have a chunk of money there and you can have a nice, comfortable life for whatever's left of it. The reality of it is that doesn't work anymore. For the last 10 years or more, interest rates have been so frighteningly low, your money isn't worth actually leaving in the bank. And it's not just my bank. You can see Barclays there on the screen, who I bank with, but it doesn't matter who you bank with. Your results are the same for pretty much anyone. If I talk to my own bank and say I wanted to save £100,000 today, how much will you give me for it? They'll give me between 0.3 and 0.5% for saving £100,000, and anything less than that, it's not even worth having in there anyway. So if that's not working, if the old idea of work hard and be nice to people isn't working, what's the alternative? We've got to have an alternative to that. Well, that question was asked by this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, when he wrote his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he came up with what he calls the cash flow quadrant. So you can see on the screen there, he has 4 boxes, and he says that effectively, everyone in the world fits into one of those 4 boxes. You are either an employee or you're self-employed, and that covers 95% of us. We either work for someone else or, as he says, we're self-employed. We might be a shop owner, might be an accountant, a solicitor, whatever, but you still have a job. The other 5% are the business owners and the investors. The bad thing is that the 95% of the people that actually do the work only get to earn 5% of the money. The other 5% hold 95% of all the money that's generated in the world. So the big question then is, how do you get to move from one side of that quadrant to the other? How do you get to move from the left to the right where all the money is? Is that possible? And if we want to know how it's possible, I suppose the smart thing to do is look at what rich people do. What do they do that's different to the rest of us? Well, the first thing that they do is that they only use tried and tested methods. You don't often hear of rich people who suddenly have a brilliant idea and they put all of their life and all of their efforts into that. They don't do that. They watch other people do that, and for the few geniuses that spark something original, they'll then go out and copy it. But in the main, wealthy people stick to tried and tested methods because that's where the smart money is. The second thing they do is they use money to make more money. They don't rely on actually going out and putting time and effort in to make money, which the rest of us do. They use money to make more money. And the third thing is that they usually go for hands-off solutions. They don't want to do it themselves. They want someone else doing it for them. You don't often hear of a rich guy getting a part-time job working behind a bar pouring drinks because he needs some extra money for his holiday. So how does that relate to us and what can we do about it? Well, we're going to talk to you about a company called Kuvera who can help us to go through exactly what we've said, move from being on that left-hand side of that quadrant to the right-hand side and make some extra money. They're a US-based company, formed in 2012, floated on the stock market in the US, and they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Now, all of those things are important to you, and I'm going to go through one by one why they're important. Why is it important that they're a US-based company? Well, because the United States is the single most regulated country in the world when it comes to financial rules and regulations. they are forced by law to jump through so many hoops to prove that what they're doing with your money is crystal clear. And if you have to trust your money to a company, trust your money to a company that is forced to be transparent and upfront with you. The fact that they were formed in 2012 means they're established. 95% of new start companies fail in their first 12 months. And most of that 5% that survive fail in the next 12 months. So the fact that Kuvera has been around for 6 years, now going on for 7, means that we're an established company with a track record. The fact that they're floated on the stock market in the United States also means that a bunch of really, really heavy lawyers have checked this company out thoroughly. They've had people going through the people behind the company, understanding what it is that the company does, and made sure that everything stacks up and all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed before they thought about sending in accountants. Then they send in the accountants, and these guys are like forensic accountants. They've checked every single penny to make sure that everything's accounted for. And only at that point will the stock market say, yes, we will offer this company for sale. The reason they do that is to protect their own backs, because you're talking about one of the most litigious countries in the world. People will sue people at the drop of a hat, and they want to know that before they recommend someone, they're safe in doing it. That means that you're safe as well. And finally, they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. A+ rated means that you are the cream of the cream. And an organization like the Better Business Bureau has its own reputation on the line when it says that Kuvera is that good. So what is it that Kuvera do? Well, in simple terms, they teach people how to make the money work for them, and they provide the technology that takes the guesswork out of investing. Now, the minute you use that word investing, people start getting nervous and thinking, oh God, this is going to take fortunes and it needs huge amounts of money. It doesn't necessarily take huge amounts of money if you know what you're doing. So we're going to introduce you to some concepts and some systems and some techniques that can show you how to make some extra money. And the first thing we want to talk about is the biggest single market in the world. It's the money market, the foreign exchange. The Forex market is worth more than $5.4 trillion every single day. That's not every week, it's not every month, not every year. $5.4 trillion every single day is transferred between people on the international money market. That's more than cars, movies, oil, every industry you can think of, all put together. It's absolutely phenomenal. There are billions and billions of dollars in profit that are generated and won and lost every single day on the Forex market. Now, what if there is a way for you to profit from all of that, but without any previous experience? You see, the problem is that for most people, it takes 10,000 hours to master any subject. If you think about a normal Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 working week, that's about 5 years of work to become an expert at anything, whether that be learning a new language, whether that be becoming a mechanic or learning to be an artist or whatever. 10,000 hours. FX1 is the first product we want to talk about, and FX1 is it uses live experts to take all of that learning away from you, because you actually get to use decades of experience of other people, and you get to use that experience immediately. So here's what it is and what it does. FX1 provides live and recorded sessions by real traders teaching you to understand the Forex market, how it works, and what you need to do to profit from it. They provide trade alerts that tells you when certain currencies are likely to go down, other currencies are going to go up, and how you can profit from them. And those alerts are copy and paste alerts. They literally send you 4 bits of information. You copy it out of an email, pop it into a program on your computer, and you make profits from it. Yet there is an option to automate it as well. The profits that you make from it are absolutely mind-blowing, and you're going to hear tonight from some people who are doing that every single day and making tremendous profits. And I've heard stories just today of people making hundreds, ranging through to thousands of dollars just today, doing exactly what we're just talking about. In addition to Forex alerts, we also have a product called Crypto One. Crypto One does the same thing, but for the cryptocurrency market rather than the foreign exchange market. Crypto One provides education about cryptocurrency. It provides analysis and research of different crypto coins. And if you don't know what this is, don't worry about it, because as I said, it's education. We're going to teach you what it is, but more importantly, we're going to send you trade alerts that will help you to profit from that as well. Most of those alerts are actually put together by this one guy you can see on your screen there, a guy called Corey Chadwick. And he's going to send you alerts like this one that he sent out to us just last week. He told us last week that we should buy the salt coin against Bitcoin. He sent us 4 bits of information that we copy from an email, paste into a program, and the net result within a couple of days is a 47% profit. So if you'd put £100 into it, 3 days later, you would have had £147. So we're not talking about millions of pounds to invest here. We're talking about the sort of money that people spend on a good night out. You know, £100 buys you a meal in a decent restaurant for 3 or 4 people. That can be profit for you, as simple as that. Corey's been doing this for us for the last 7 months. Corey's he's about 27 years old. He is a multimillionaire in his own right, made his money purely from cryptocurrency. And he's worth quite a staggering amount of money in a very, very short space of time. But for the last 7 months, he's been putting out videos and trading signals for Kuvera. He sent us, in 7 months, he sent us just 20 audited trades. But what those 20 audited trades have done is generated 1,400% profit. So if you'd had £100 to follow Corey for the last 7 months, your £100 would now be worth £1,400. If you'd had £1,000, it would have been worth £14,000. Just copy and pasting some signals that he sends you. And at the rate of 20 in 7 months, that's 3 a month. We're talking about minutes a week of effort. The hit rate that he has been, to date, 100% accurate with no trading misses whatsoever. And he has a reputation that he's got to, you know, no one is perfect. The day will come when he does miss one, but he's holding that off as long as he possibly can. To date, 20,000 people around the world are hanging on to every word that he's saying because they want to follow that information and profit from it. You could actually get access to that before the end of the call tonight. Next product we want to very quickly touch on is a product called Startups. Imagine being able to find out about Amazon, Google, or Microsoft before anyone else had ever thought about buying shares in them. You'd be very, very rich indeed. But it's not just those big companies. Let's talk about some other companies that you've heard of, but you could have made a lot of money from if you'd known about it. If you'd heard about Snapchat when that started back in 2012, by the end of last year, if you put just $100 in it, by the end of last year, your $100 would have been worth $240,000. So I talked about Corey taking $100 and turning it into $1,400 in 7 months. That's talking about 7 years, but look at that, $240,000 from a $100 investment. If you'd done the same thing with Uber, Uber started in 2010, but put $100 into Uber then, by the end of last year, it would have been worth $1.25 million. And if you'd heard of Airbnb back in 2008 when they launched and you put $100 into them, by the end of last year, that would have been worth $2 million. Now, just look at those 3 trades for a second. Consider that. That's $300 invested for around about 7 or 8 years. That would have turned into $3.5 million. You do not have to be a wealthy man to invest, but you can become wealthy by investing. Now, we get these alerts from this guy, a guy called Michael Markowski. Michael Markowski has been one of the world's leaders for the last 40 years in sending these signals out, and he provides them all for us. He's recognized by Fortune magazine as being a world leader, and he provides some fantastic information for us. If you follow the stock market, you may be aware that last month was a really horrible month for the stock market. On the 10th of October, so just a couple of weeks back, there was a huge crash on the stock market. Something to companies like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft lost something like 60% of their market value overnight. This guy predicted it live the day before it happened. So there's obviously going to be a cost for all of this. So what does it cost you? So let's go through that. Each of those products that I talked about has their own individual cost, but we do have something that we call an all-in pack. An all-in pack gives you access to the following. It gives you access to FX1, which gives you all of our Forex alerts. It gives you access to Crypto One, which gives you all of our crypto alerts. It gives you access to startups, which is there for you already. A bunch of financial fitness tools, which will help you manage your taxes, help you to manage any savings that you have right now, and can actually save you money on your tax bill. And in addition to that, I'm going to show you some options where we can actually turn this product itself into a business of its own. To turn it into a business of its own, our all-in pack gives you your own personalized website that explains everything that I've just talked about. Because if you're just listening to this for the first time right now, and someone asks you to explain it in 2 hours' time, you're not going to have a hope in hell. You'll never be able to explain it. We're going to give you a website that will actually explain it all for you. And also an integrated office and marketing suite that helps you control your business as well. The cost of the business to get started is $279 a month, and a monthly subscription, sorry, $279 to get started, and a monthly subscription of $199. Each one of those products is available individually. If you don't want to run this as a business, you just want to get the Forex alerts and profit from those, you can have those for $150 a month. If you want just the crypto alerts, you can have them for $150 a month. If you want startups, you can have them for $150 a month. But you can have the whole lot for $199 a month and get benefits from profiting in a number of different ways. Now, if you don't like the idea of the monthly subscription, we can do something about that too. So I want to put something to you here. Just imagine this is Mary. And Mary's seen the presentation that we've done. She's seen the results that people are getting with these. And she decides she likes the idea and she wants to get started. And she goes away and she tells her best friend Tom about it. And Tom thinks it's a good idea as well, so he decides he's going to join. So does Jane, and so does Bob. Because Mary has found 3 friends who are all joining the company as well, and they're all paying their $199 a month subscription, Kuvera did not have to do any advertising to find those 3 people. So the company says, thank you very much, and they waive her subscription for her. So she never has to worry about the $199 a month. That means all of the facilities that she's got have cost her just $279. But it gets a bit better than that as well, because those guys can do exactly the same. If Mary isn't paying $199 a month, chances are good that Tom, Jane, and Bob don't want to do the same either. They don't want to pay either. So Tom goes out and he gets 3 friends, so does Jane, and so does Bob. So they don't pay their $199 a month subscription now. But Kuvera recognized that they now have a bunch of people that are all paying $199 a month along this bottom line here. And they're all paying this subscription, but Kuvera didn't have to pay anything for it. So Kuvera says, thank you very much, Mary. We're going to pay you a royalty bonus of $500 a month for the rest of your life. As long as Mary's involved with this business and these guys are involved in this business, she'll get paid $500 a month. And if you get started and you want to do that and you do the same thing in your first 30 days, then you'll also get an additional $250 bonus. Now, I just want to tell you a personal story. I got started with this business on New Year's Day this year. I actually saw the business at the tail end of last year, but it was coming up for Christmas, and like everyone else, you've got Christmas in front of you and celebrations and everything else. So I decided I was going to wait until the new year. Well, by the time New Year's Day came up, I was itching to get started because I was so excited about what I'd seen. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get started until the 2nd of January. But on New Year's Day, when I'm sat there a little bit bored, I decided to sit there with my laptop, and I thought, well, let's see if I can register, because if I register now, it's only a computer program anyway. Surely a computer's awake, isn't it? So I logged on and I registered on New Year's Day, and I got started. So then I sent a message out to about 20 or 30 friends on Facebook messages, and I said, you can't believe what I've just seen. This is just something that's absolutely astonishing. These are people I've worked with in the past who know me, and they said they'll trust my opinion and they'll listen to me. It took me 3 hours on New Year's Day to find those first 3 people. And in fact, it took me 11 hours to fill all of those people in, because you don't have to find 3 people who find 3 people each. You can find a dozen people if you want to, which is exactly what I did. But as a result of doing that, on New Year's Day, I earned $500 and I got a $250 bonus. So I earned $750 on New Year's Day, whilst everyone else was nursing a hangover. And I'm not the only person, Stu. You're going to hear from someone else in a couple of minutes who's going to tell you the same kind of story, that he did exactly the same thing. So it doesn't stop there, because if I get to the point where I earn $500, then everyone else who's involved in this with me wants to do the same thing. And as they start to move, you move up again, and your $500 becomes $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $4,000 a month, and so it grows. In fact, we have one young guy who's with us from Mexico. He's been with the team for 2 years now, and in the space of 2 years, he's actually built a team to the point where last month he earned $160,000 just last month. And that's without counting any of the profit that he made from making any of the trades or investing in any of the products. $160,000 a month. I've talked for quite a lot right now, and I've gone through a lot of information with you. So probably the best thing for me to do right now is introduce you to some people who've actually experienced the products themselves, and let you hear from them exactly what their experiences have been. So I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to take a look at exactly who's on the screen, and I'm going to call a few names out, and let's see who we have. So taking a look around, the first person that I want to speak to, in fact, the first person I'm going to speak to is a guy who, when I first heard about this business back at the tail end of last year, a very, very good friend told me to look at a video. And the video was hosted by the guy I'm going to introduce you to right now. His name is a guy called Simon Kendrick. He showed me some information that blew me away. I'm sure he's going to do the same thing for you right now. Simon's been involved with this business for a little longer than I have. I'm not going to preempt his story. What I can tell you is that he's building a huge team of people from literally all around the world, and there are lots and lots of people who want to hear his story. So Simon, rather than me just keep going on, let me just see. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, how you doing, Rog? Can you hear me, mate?
I can indeed.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Simon Kendrick, and welcome to tonight's call. It's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight. So just a little bit about my story then, so you can learn a little bit about me, and maybe some of you might be able to relate. I was in the military for 10 years, moved from the military, and then moved into the private security sector, where I became a private armed security guard, protecting merchant vessels against piracy attacks. Within that time, I married my beautiful, beautiful wife, Claire, inherited a young family. I wasn't that single guy anymore. And with that became responsibilities. But obviously, because I was working out in the Middle East for such long periods at a time, maybe 3, 4, 5 months, you know, the pressure was beginning to, you know, pile on. There was a burden there. I was missing out on so much. But I came to a crossroads. I was like, well, how can I still keep supporting my family but have that precious time? Because, you know, a lot of people get it wrong. Money is not everything. Time is your most precious asset. You know, once you spend a second doing something that you don't enjoy or you don't love, you're never getting that back, right? So that was always playing on my mind. I was missing out on so many things. So anyway, to cut that long story short, I did what you guys are doing this evening. I watched this presentation or something similar to it. And I went and met a guy who you're going to hear off in a few moments' time. Now, in 12 months, or just over 12 months, sorry, about 18 months, I was stuck in the middle of an ocean on a vessel in a place I didn't want to be, with people I didn't want to be with, no offense to them, contemplating life. And just a few months ago, I was invited and my family over to the United States to stay with one of the company's top earners, which was, you know, I'm very, very grateful for. And then we headed down to convention in Las Vegas. So in the space of a 12 or 18 month period, because I believe in Kuvera, I'm passionate about Kuvera, not just because the amounts of money that can be made, you know, that's great. It's more now so of how many people we can go out there and actually help, because there is a financial epidemic out there, in my opinion, and we can do something about that here at Kuvera. But before I hand it back, I just want to touch on a few things. Corey Chadwick, who's our Crypto One expert trader, to date with those 20 verified trades, that is remarkable. And for all you crypto enthusiasts on the call tonight, here's what I'd like you to consider. He's had, you know, 100% strike rate in a bearish market. What's Corey going to do when that market turns bullish? That is a frightening prospect. Startups was another favorite of mine. Absolutely incredible. You know, this opportunity is for everybody and everyone. If not Kuvera, then who? And if not now, then when? And that's my story. Good luck to you all. Cheers, Rog.
Thanks, Simon. Okay, so I want to introduce you to a guy right now who I met a couple of months ago over in Denmark. And he's been with us for just a few months. But I've been talking to him today, and just today alone, he's getting very, very excited about the results that he's getting with FX1 because of our alerts. So Peter, can you tell your story?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me, Roger?
Yes, we can.
Yes. So yes, I'm Peter. I'm 47. I'm from Belgium. And exactly today, 1 year ago, we moved to Denmark. So, and I recently joined Kuvera based on a phone number that my wife gave me. And the phone number was from Simon Brook. So I called him. And he convinced me in 2 minutes, and based on 3 pillars, in fact. So he told me that we have a system to plug in people, prospects, so that they can see what it is. And secondly, we have phenomenal products. And there I want to emphasize that just by copying and pasting the alerts that we get from Kuvera, I managed to make almost $400. So that means that my subscription, if I would have to pay it, that is just paid in 1 day. And this is not a coincidence, because I am sharing Kuvera with other people by inviting them. And I have a guy in the team, Isaac Green from Nigeria. He's 24, and he is now recently joining, and he was also using the alerts. And last week or the week before, he was making over $600. So it's not a coincidence. Yeah, just copy and paste and the results will come. And then thirdly, but that's the most important for me, that's the support structure there is in the UK. I am a lonely guy in Denmark, but I am almost daily in contact with Roger, with Simon, and they help me out. Even if I'm having bad days, they help me out. So that's the most important for me, to keep it a long, successful journey. And I cannot imagine where I will be in 3 years by sharing the opportunity and using the products and just living the life that I want to live. So that's my story. Roger, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Peter. One thing I do love about this business is that you get to hear stories about things that are changing people's lives. And it sounds very simple to turn around and say that Isaac over in Nigeria made $600 in 1 week, but $600 in Nigeria is like a month's wages, people over there. That's absolutely mind-blowing money. And We're very fortunate in the West. If you happen to live in Europe or you happen to live in the USA, we're wealthy people compared to most people. And yet, a small amount of money, what we think of as a small amount of money, can change people's lives. And when Peter says that he can make $400 in just one day, copy and pasting information, that can change your life. And I'm going to introduce just a couple of guys right now whose lives have changed because they've been involved with this business for a bit longer, and the numbers, the amount of money that they've made literally goes way beyond it, because we're talking about two people who've both made 8 figures plus. First person I want to introduce you to is a guy that I met back in May. He comes from the USA, but he was across here to share with us some stories back in May. I've heard him speak a number of times at live events, and he's a phenomenal speaker, but the man has such integrity and he tells such powerful stories. I really can't try to explain it myself. I'm going to let him do it for yourself. So, Rick, can you unmute yourself there, please? Right, we've got you unmuted, Rick.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can indeed. Makes a change not to see you in a car.
Yeah, I'm in a car a lot, so yeah.
Okay, do you want to share your story with us, Rick, and tell us your experiences at Kuvera and what makes Kuvera such a special thing from your point of view?
Well, I was the first. I put this together with the owners, and so I've been here for 4 years and 1 month now. And I was actually working as a consultant with them, kind of helping them with some ideas to get the company going. And we got to the point where they said, I said, who do you have in mind for the marketing? They all started smiling. I got a little bit scared. And to make a long story short, Roger, the bottom line is I shared the vision that they had, and I hadn't really been in this space for a lot of years. I'd had my financial successes and really thought that I was just, doing what I was going to do for the rest of my life. But I was very excited about what they did, and so what I did is I said yes, and I have the ability to build the way I build, and I knew that as long as they did their part, and so we had a great partnership from the very beginning. But from the first day when I was thinking about bringing the first person into this, now, hundreds of thousands of people in 75 countries plus have put their money down to give Kuvera a try. And our products are killing it. The dream is killing it. One of the things that people need to understand is we're not a trading company. We don't take anybody's money. All we do is supply information. But more importantly than that, what we really do, and you need to understand this is really important, is that we provide a platform, okay, to get people from being average and ordinary to the point where they're actually gaining wealth. Now, this is important because, you see, in order to acquire wealth, it requires acquiring a different knowledge base. And that's a difficult thing for people to do because it's very expensive. And our goal as a company is to get the 95%ers out there, the information systems and tools that they can have to accumulate wealth so they can get into this top 5% class, so to speak. And so this platform that we have offers them the ability to gain the knowledge base. And then along with that, gives them the systems and tools and products to be able to accomplish that wealth building strategy that we have right now, teach them to stay the course, help them understand that this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not. This is for real. The thing that I really love about Kuvera is it's a publicly traded company in the US. I mean, this is the most highly regulated country in the world. And as a public company, everything is totally transparent. And for our culture from the beginning has been one of integrity, honesty, and transparency. And so, as I look at the successes over the last 4 years, I can't imagine what the next 4 to 5 years is going to be. But my goal has always been to help create a legacy company, one that not any one individual, no matter how bad they were, whatever they did to mess up, could ever hurt it. It's just, it's got that iron on, and we're doing that. In order to do that, we have to have incredible leaders like you guys on here. Roger, you've done a brilliant presentation, by the way. I just wanted to know that. It's one of the best presentations I think I've ever seen. And we put on these testimonials from people, and we literally could have this go on for days and days and days in 70 countries, plus. I mean, people telling their history, telling their stories. All of our products work. All of our products have worked. But you've got to understand that anytime you're accumulating wealth, you're doing something different than putting your money in the bank where they pay you nothing. They take your money and they get rich. What we're doing is we're turning you into the bank. And so you need to understand what that means. to be able to accumulate wealth. And so there's an education process, as I talk about this knowledge base that the platform provides to those people who come on board for this. Now, what's the cost for this? You got to understand that in accumulating wealth in my life, I had to literally pay hundreds of thousands of dollars probably over that time for the information, to learn how to do stuff, to experiment with things. Right here we have an absolute pathway that a person can step into for around $300. And then all they do is refer 3 people. They don't ever have another cost. I mean, this is absolutely unbelievable to have access to this. And nobody else in the world does what Kuvera does. And this is an important thing for everybody that will hear this to understand, is that there is nowhere else to go to get this information. No one else has a platform that Kuvera has. No one else has found a way to make it profitable for a company. We don't make money when you make money. We don't make money when you lose money like a broker does. They make it no matter what, right? We're not insurance people to make a commission based on how much we can get you to spend. All we are is a subscription-based company that supplies a platform for you of information and access to the systems, tools, and products that the people that have accumulated wealth have and have always had. And so if that's something that a person wants, Roger, if that's something that people want, if they want to do better than they're doing right now, we offer 2 opportunities here, right? The first one is products that are killing it, right? You just talked about Corey's trades. I mean, every one of our products, if you take it back to when they started till now, we're absolutely killing it. 50, 60% of the year on the equities trades. I mean, you're talking about the crypto returns and the Forex returns. But you got to understand that every day when you're trading is not a good day. Okay? You have ups and downs on the way to the top. That's the way it works. And so we have a lot of people, and I'll just put this out, that want to look at things for a week or 2 and see how it works out. You're never going to, what you're going to do is you're going to quit. You're going to go back to the Good Boy Coffee Club and complain about the world, okay? Put your money in the bank. Always keep the job where somebody else is, making the money on you and realizing their dream. Instead, you becoming an entrepreneur and developing that investor mindset that we talk about. And it's really difficult, though, to come from a saver mindset to an investor mindset. Requires a platform in order for that to happen, where step by step, little by little, you're led down the correct path, and it keeps you in that pathway until you accomplish that goal. One thing I want to say, Roger, and at the end here, is it's 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. You see, that is how long it takes before you even start getting to step 1 of accumulating wealth. And we have a lot of people that for 1 week or 2 weeks come in, and there might be a bad trading week. And it happens all the time to every trader in the world. Or maybe they didn't get the product set up. Maybe they forgot about their enthusiasm. Maybe they think that it's a get-rich-quick scheme. The truth is if you really, truly want to accumulate wealth, it is a slow and steady process to an absolute perfect end result, if that's what you want. In order to do that, you got to think more long-term. The younger you are, the harder time is for you to understand what the magic of time really is. And so what we do is we provide the education, the systems, the tools, and the products that's going to get you to that wealth accumulating pathway, keep you in it, keep you educated, keep you motivated, and keep you feeling success all the way along that pathway. The second thing is we offer an opportunity to share that with other people. So not only do you have products that if you put just a few $100s in them, you can get engaged in what would normally cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can actually have the opportunity to make the money here to put in the products to accumulate wealth. I mean, what a beautiful thing. It's a full encompassing circle where you go out and you share what you found with other people, and the income opportunity is absolutely exceptional. Our comp plan goes all the way up to $350,000 a month, Roger. I mean, it's ridiculous to think about. But we have some people that are nearly halfway there in our company. It's because of hard work and dedication and staying the course and understanding that every single day is a day one effort where you're looking forward every day in a positive way to accomplishing things in that day. It's never good enough to start your diet on Monday. You got to start it today when you're the fattest, right? And that's what my goal. I've always done that. I try to do it. I'm still failing at the moment, but I'm working at it. But Kuvera is a wonderful company. The culture is great. The products are great. Compensation plan is like nothing else out there. And the leadership, both from the owners, from the corporate team, and also out here in the field, is exceptional. I am an 8-figure earner. I've been in this industry for a little bit. I have a lot of other businesses out there, but I love this particular business model. And that's simply because it's such a people business that you're able to really develop these close relationships and long-term friendships. And so I'm excited to have the opportunity to be on here for you today, Roger, and to be able to get some of this energy out, or else I'm like a Tasmanian devil, man. If I can't talk enough in a day, I kind of like internally combust, So excited for you guys. I am looking forward. I'm in the UK to a real special event on the, I think it's the weekend of the 15th, 16th of December, that we have a special retreat. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to be locked and loaded. I'm going to be coming with fire, okay? As a matter of fact, I have something extremely special that I'm going to allow you guys to know ahead of other people, those that attend, for what's coming in the new year. So we've got lots of plans. We're working on tons of stuff. We've got lots of new things coming out. Even next week, we got another big product announcement and some other things. So just hold on. We're barely getting started. See, when I started, there was one product. There was equities, stock and options in the U.S. That was it. And now we entered all of these other financial areas, and we're barely getting started, okay? The world is our oyster, so to speak, and we can do whatever we want because all we do, we already have the platform established. Now what it is perfecting that platform and adding continually great products and services to it as time goes by. So if I was sitting out there and I was listening to this message right now, I would get my $200 or $300 out and I'd get started today. And then for sure, if you're in the UK, I'm going to be in France, Germany, UK, Brazil. I'm going to be all over the world before the end of the year. At this UK event, guys, if you're not to that event and I'm there, I promise you I will deliver for you. If I promised you that I will teach you how to make $1 million quicker than any other way, would you not be there? I mean, that's what you got to ask yourself. Fill that room up. I don't know how many spots are left there. It's a wonderful 2-day thing. I've been there, I think, twice now. And it's where I really got in touch with the UK bunch. It's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And I can't wait to be there, Roger. So just a little challenge out to those listening to make sure you're there. Get yourself reserved and locked in right now. I'm going to be coming with fire, and I'm going to make it well worth your while, myself along with the other people that are participating. So thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Rick, thank you very, very much for that. If you guys haven't heard Rick speak in person, you're missing out on so much. But almost as much as the guy I want to introduce you to right now. Next person I want to introduce you to is a very, very special friend of mine, someone who I've known for the last 27 years. We introduced this industry a long, long time ago, and he's hugely successful. In fact, he is ranked as one of the top 100 all-time earners in this industry. So, Simon Brooks, are you there? Simon, can you unmute yourself?
Yep. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can.
Hello. Can you hear me? Mute yourself. Can we delete him?
He can't, but I'm trying. I'll get it sorted.
Okay.
You talk, I'll sort it.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I know we've got people from South Africa, from Australia. Wow. So we've got people from all over the world. Yeah, Simon Brooks is my name, and I'm from Liverpool, just north of Liverpool, in a place called Formby. I've been involved in the industry of network marketing for over 31 years. And in that time period, I've made around 14 million. Now, that's not to impress you, but to impress upon you of what you can achieve through this industry. Now, in my time period of being involved in network marketing, I've never, ever seen an opportunity with a product range that Kuvera had. And what do I mean by that? We're nothing to do with pills, potions, lotions, tablets, skincare, face cream, coffee, whatever. We're involved with a product and an opportunity where we get results that we can actually show people. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, but I love this skincare. Oh yeah, I love this face cream. I love these pills and potions. Well, really, you know, that's not for 100% of the population. Making money is for 100% of the population. Whether someone's like 16 years old, 18 years old, or 108 years old, every single one of those people want to make some extra money. Now, coming up at the end of the year, we do have a special leadership weekend that's going to be on the 15th and 16th of December. And that's going to be our leadership weekend and Christmas party that Rick Rowberry, our master distributor, will be flying thousands and thousands and thousands of miles to come over. If you've never seen Rick speak before, you are missing something. People would pay thousands to attend an event to see this guy speak. He is worth speaking at. So the most important thing what I can say to you is Number one, if you're brand new, looking at tonight for the very, very first time, speak to the person that's invited you onto this Zoom now and say, right, if I join, can I book the leadership weekend? And they will tell you all the details and everything else about how to book it, where to book it, why to book it, and everything else. The actual event is in a luxury 4-star spa resort in Liverpool. And this is a place called Thornton Hall. Google Thornton Hall in Liverpool. It is amazing. And it's going to be a black tie event. It's going to be a casino evening. We're going to be doing loads and loads of special stuff. So it is the place to be. But the most important thing is if you're looking at this right now and you want to make a significant income, you're sat in the right place at the right time. And the benefit is we've actually created a system that you can join and you can get involved with. And that is the biggest benefit. So at the end of the day, it's all very well saying, well, how do I get on? What do I do? Yet you haven't got to do party plan. You haven't got to give samples away to people. You haven't got to give information packs away. We have a system where we can share with you ways to build an organization in a very, very successful way. We have a lot of people making a lot of money. So if they can do it, why can't you? Folks, my time's up. Thanks for yours. And I'm going to hand you back to Roger. Speak to you later.
Thank you, Simon. Okay, I'm going to try this one time. Cello, if you're listening to me, can you please mute your phone? Guys, for the Cello, please mute it.
Right, hold on a minute.
Mute, switch off, whatever, mate.
Or switch off or just leave. Cello, nice seeing you, mate. Take care. Have a good day.
Can you see me?
Yeah,
Yes,
switch
I
it
can.
off, please, mate. Right, guys, my apologies for Cello interrupting there. He's not aware that he's interrupting. And to show the guy's commitment, he's actually in a hospital bed, as you can see there. He had surgery on his eyes 2 days ago, but he wanted to be on this call to make sure that he didn't miss anything. So,
that's why he can't see how to mute himself.
That's exactly.
Well, try and mute yourself, Cello, for a minute, please. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for your time. As Simon said and Rick said, if you're not excited by this, I don't know what will excite you. This business is absolutely astonishing. But we have an event coming up in just, I think it's 5 weeks' time, Simon? About 5 weeks' time for the leadership weekend now.
We got a major event on the 11th of November.
We have an event on the 11th of November in Liverpool where we're launching our new product, and we have our leadership weekend in mid-December. Our leadership weekend is a phenomenal event. You get to meet Rick Rowberry face-to-face. You get to meet Simon Brooks face-to-face. That's two people who both earned in excess of 10 million each from this industry. And they have a lifetime of wisdom that they can share with you. So if you haven't already booked your space, and I know those spaces are going very quickly, then contact either Simon Brooks directly. And if you don't know how to contact Simon Brooks directly, speak to your upline and ask them how you contact Simon to make sure you get that place booked. We're going to be here the same time again next week to share the same opportunity with you. If you're looking at this for the first time, just get back to the person who invited you onto this call, twist their arm at the back and say, let me in right now. Remember what we said, Peter Wylock earned $400 just today, sitting with his computer, clicking on some signals off his phone, copy and pasting, $400 a day. It's the easiest and most exciting opportunity I've ever seen in my life. It's enough of the Cello Show. So we'll see you all soon. Thanks for your time, folks. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.